Singapore is experiencing a rising prevalence in dementia cases, where 1 in 10 people aged 60 and above has dementia. Therefore, there is a need to build inclusive environments for persons living with dementia. What are the types of environments we can enhance to make them more inclusive? We can look into physical spaces frequented by persons living with dementia, such as their homes, center-based services, long-term care facilities, as well as wider environments, such as public infrastructure and transport systems. To build an inclusive environment, it is crucial to consider the dementia-friendly design principles. Safety. Ensure a safe environment for seniors to move around. Homely environment. Include familiar items that seniors can relate to and enable seniors to feel comfortable in their surroundings. Empowerment and autonomy. Support seniors in making choices. Appropriate environmental stimulation. Provide appropriate level of sensory stimulation for the seniors. Personal space and privacy. Allow seniors to be cared for in a respectful and dignified manner and cater to personal moments when needed. Meaningful participation. Encourage seniors to participate in meaningful activities independently or as a group. In this video, we will hear perspectives from stakeholders such as government agencies, clinicians, community care providers, caregivers, and a person living with dementia on a dementia-inclusive environment and how they play a part in it.
Dementia-friendly environment is a safe and inclusive environment where persons living with dementia can participate in daily lives and move around as independently as possible. In making a dementia-friendly environment, it is important that we apply universal design concepts and also include dementia-friendly features in our buildings and infrastructure. BCA and AIC are currently co-leading a committee with URA and CLC as members. We are exploring ways to enhance the design of our buildings and infrastructure to better cater to the needs of elderly and persons living with dementia. BCA is refreshing the certification course for Universal Design Assessor at the BCA Academy. We hope that with this new enhanced course, we can better instill awareness and also knowledge amongst our building professionals, such as designers and architects and engineers, to include dementia-friendly principles and apply them in their building design.
People living with dementia is a gradual degeneration process. It does not happen overnight. But in the early stages of their diagnosis, they are still able to stay within their neighborhood, in familiar surroundings, with the community that they are already so familiar with. AIC and CLC are now co-leading a dementia-friendly neighborhood study, and the purpose of the study is to derive localized designs and impact on policy and planning for our neighborhoods. This is an evidence-based research study, and it is one of the first study of its kind where we are trying to understand directly from persons with dementia how they relate to their environment, and doing that in collaboration with our community partners. What we hope to achieve from this study is to look at designs and interventions that can help persons with dementia navigate their environments more safely with a greater sense of security. Some of the ideas that we have derived from this research study includes an important understanding that design interventions have to be contextualized to Singapore's context.
Well, about 1 in 4 people in Singapore will be 65 and above by the time 2030. It's a trend that's very worrying. Through this DFN study, we came up with 4 key design strategies that I would think that's quite highly innovative. We'll summarize it in the 4 mathematical formula that we're all very familiar with in case I get dementia one day. Plus, minus, multiply, and divide. Plus stand for strengthening mental map. Through this study, we realized that many of the persons living with dementia, as well as their caregivers, actually still able to move around quite easily based on their cognitive ability. Minus stand for reductionist approach. In a way, architecture term, we call it less is more. So in our environment, when there are so many colors and senses, we can actually reduce them to bring down to something that is simple for them to appreciate, for them to be able to navigate. Number 3 is multiply. So beside person living with dementia, caregiver is also very, very important. So it's very important to reduce their stress level, like for example, crossing a road when the car is entering a car park. These are the places that we need to place more attention so that we do elevate the stress level of the caregiver. Finally, we talk about divide, which stands for embrace change. It's important that we incorporate into our design and to introduce change in a much more incremental level so that any change will not be too overwhelming and they are able to adapt those changes and live a much more good life with new programs to continue live in the community.
An age-friendly environment is one that is inclusive, safe, and is user-friendly for people of all ages. So close to 80% of our residents' population actually live in public housing. So HDB actually plays a very significant role in shaping our built environment. Since 2006, HDB developments have incorporated universal design principles with features such as barrier-free footpaths, and we also provide a range of social, communal and recreational facilities within our precincts. We also consider how synergistic use can be co-located to promote social interactions, such as placing our children playground, adult fitness and elderly fitness station in close proximity to each other. We have recently developed more dementia-friendly design features in our new BTO developments to facilitate wayfinding. So some of the examples are to supplement our wayfinding signages with commonly used symbols and pictograms to actually facilitate and provide multiple forms of visual cues. Besides that, we also introduce distinctive design features such as thematic playgrounds that can serve as a form of visual cue and reference point for people living with dementia to find their way.
Dementia-friendly environment helps people with dementia continue that sense of normalcy whereby they can continue to have their usual routines and try to upkeep their usual lifestyles. There must also be that sense of togetherness and kampong spirit in the environment whereby people in the community understand the needs of people with dementia, can recognize what deficits they have, so that if they do run into problems, they know how to recognize and provide the necessary assistance. And this together will help people with dementia age in place and in the community so that they can continue to lead lives that are purposeful and familiar to themselves. A dementia-friendly hospital would be one that can understand the needs of people with dementia and attend to them appropriately. Beyond treating the acute medical problem, to attend to their physical well-being and functional well-being, we should give them more opportunities to stand and to walk and to do things the way that they are used to doing, such as going to the toilet. We should try to occupy their time for those who are actually well enough to engage with meaningful and purposeful activities. However, our hospital care culture has always been one that is centered on providing safe care. While safety is absolutely necessary, we need to also move beyond safety to securing the total well-being of older people and people with dementia in the hospital and functional abilities of the patient. And to do so, we will need more training of our staff for them to know what the needs of people with dementia are. For them also to look at reprioritizing care in not just looking at the primacy or centrality of safety, but sometimes being able to be flexible to accommodate to the person with dementia's needs so that you can likewise prioritize the other needs that he has in function, in physical function and in emotional and psychological well-being. We need to gradually educate and empower our staff to first recognize what older people with dementia need, to be able to better attend to them with the necessary soft skills, and to reprioritize care that looks beyond safety and risk management to securing the total well-being of older people and people with dementia in our hospitals.
For caregivers, a dementia-friendly environment is a place whereby they can enjoy and feel comfortable to bring their loved ones to safely and easily, regardless of whether the person living with dementia is walking or on a wheelchair, so that they can engage in activities together to enhance their relationship and also improve bonding. On dementiahub.sg, we have a range of different resources such as toolkits, guidebooks, and checklists to enable us to better understand how to create a dementia-friendly environment. For example, we have the 360-degree virtual reality dementia-friendly home design guide, which provides us with good ideas on how to make a person's home dementia-friendly. There is also EDIS, which stands for Experience Dementia in Singapore, which is a series of videos which enables you to understand what might be some of the challenges faced by the person living with dementia from a first-person perspective. So these three different scenarios are based in a HDB home, in a daycare center, as well as in the supermarket. So the dementia design principles have been very useful to help us to think about how to create dementia-friendly environments for persons living with dementia. For example, in some of our projects which focus on enhancing dementia care services, we have used the dementia design principles to evaluate what might be some of the strengths and areas for improvement of the physical space of the care facility.
A dementia-friendly environment will mean that the household should be free of potential barriers whenever possible. This is to help to reduce the risk of fall of our loved one. For example, the steps within the house and the curb from the kitchen to the toilet. And also at the same time, able to create a familiar space for our loved ones so that they could actually enjoy their routine activities, like for example, watching television, playing puzzle, or having meal times, because the familiar space will allow them to feel more comfortable and calm.
In terms of public spaces, we really hope that the built environment that comes in from different government agencies is able to support the people living in dementia to leave the house and have a smooth transition at different touch points, meaning as they move out of their house, the steps and curbs and the different touch points so that they are able to board the transport and arrive at the various polyclinics or retail malls and food courts friendly enough for them to be able to feel inclusive as they try to live as a normal person together with their caregivers.
When we talk about enabling design, it should be a design whereby the person living with dementia can choose and has the right to choose whether do I want to be involved in the activity or I want to go out, how much I want to go out. And it should not be because of poor design, inaccessible, not inclusive design, and that makes the person not able to go out and do the activity. Whether is it policy makers or HDB or public transport or public hospital want to do any design, it should involve the person living with dementia and the care partner in the co-design of the environment. Because it is very hard for people who are not living with cognitive impairment to design an environment that is of optimal use for us. What we need is, a design that is allow us to be continue to do things that we love, Like for example, for me, the public transport system here is so well connected. I feel so confident to use the public transport on my own. Like this morning, I just come by myself after my daughter just gave me a navigation guide on how after I exit, where do I walk and things like that, and how do I come here, because this is entirely a different block from the main door when you come in.
After hearing what defines a dementia-inclusive environment, let's see examples of dementia-friendly environment in Singapore and how persons living with dementia benefit from the inclusive design aspects.